guys, welcome back to my channel. It's me Kagam and welcome to a new dragging video. Today we're in Paris, baby, with the four, let's call them the four princesses of Paris, because each person has a different view who's the queen and who runs Paris, honey. But of course that's Dior, Louis Vuitton, Big H and Big C. Let's start off here at Dior at the Champs-Elysees boutique in Paris. Somehow my first review was deleted. I'm back to repost it, and I'll repost it as many times as it's been deleted. I went into this Dior location in hopes of gifting myself a new bag. That didn't happen because instead one of the essays yelled at me saying I don't speak English. When I asked him which one I could find ready to wear on, I wish I was kidding when I say he yelled. I ended up not buying here, instead leaving because I could view the rest of the boutique. I don't know if it was hatred towards American people, but what I do know is it was extremely unprofessional. I will never come back to this location. Okay, so there are a few things. I've seen this theme in a few of these reviews from different even different countries like in Europe and stuff, where there are like American shoppers who think that maybe people treat them differently because they're American. I don't think it's that, but I think it's like if the essay is like the only person who can help you sell a bag and maybe their English isn't that great, I think it might come across a little bit forceful. For example, like I'm trying to think of how the person would say it in French. Je ne parle pas anglais, like I don't speak English. Je ne parle pas anglais. Like it might come across like I don't speak English, but actually they don't mean it in like a harsh, horrible way. So I don't know. I don't think it's like, oh, they're against you because you're from the States. I think it's just like maybe it came across quite rudely the way they said it, but they didn't mean harm by it. The next one is the Dior boutique at the Avenue Montaigne in Paris. All of our dragging reviews today are all in Paris, France. Waited for half an hour, not a single essay was willing to help me out. When I asked them and one of them and showed him a bracelet I was looking for, all he said was, of course we have them. Just sit over there and one of my colleagues will come to you. 30 minutes later, nothing. Even more bizarre, when I gave up and I left, I saw a couple of essays just idling around. Disappointed at the standard of this Dior boutique. Won't be buying any more Dior products. I mean, people really get upset about this stuff, which I find really interesting. This is obviously fashion jewelry. It is not like fine jewelry. Dior's fine jewelry is incredibly expensive. It is fantastically expensive. It is grossly overpriced. Beautiful, gorgeous. I love those like rose fine jewelry pieces. This is a really beautiful one. It's like a rose pave ring, like in the shape of a flower. Gorgeous, honey. But very, very, very expensive. So I find it hard to believe that an essay would like dismiss someone who wants to buy fine jewelry. So this is probably a fashion jewelry thing. Unfortunate, unpleasant. I'm not going to defend this. That's wrong. They should just help it. Particularly the Avenue Montaigne boutique is so busy. It takes them 2 seconds to find someone to be like, just go help this person buy like a fashion bracelet and then go do something else. It's literally like printing money at this point. The next one is the Dior boutique on Saint Honoré. So this is the one that's near the Chanel. I always dreamed of visiting a Dior boutique in Paris for the experience. I have to say I left feeling very deflated. You go to the door, they ask you, what are you looking for today? I wanted to have a look around. I didn't have a shopping list. I want to be inspired and purchase what I fancy in the moment. They then check, are there enough people to allow you in? They speak on their mics to inform staff your whereabouts. It makes you feel uncomfortable. You're then greeted again and asked what you're looking for as everyone on the shop floor stares at you, judging your every move and outfit. I felt so uncomfortable. I couldn't wait to leave. I made my way out of the shop. The staff are watching you on their mics. All eyes on you. Okay, calm down. Not everyone is sitting there staring at you. You're not Beyonce. Calm down. Such a shame, as I'd always had good views of the brand. But a customer shouldn't be made to feel like this. I don't know. To me, this feels like an overreaction. You're a client entering the store. If they'd ignored this person, the person would have come and moaned and whinged about it and cried about it. And then now they're giving you the attention. You're like, everyone's staring at me. You're not Beyonce, honey. Relax. No one's staring at you like that. Calm down. Okay. The bit I find interesting is the "what are you looking for today" thing, which was my previous experience as well. Last autumn going to Paris, like you will be asked like straight up, like, what do you want to buy today? what are you looking to buy today? Particularly at Cartier. Cartier will ask you, what are you trying to buy today? So when I saw that here, I was like, oh my god, that's like exactly what they ask people. The next one is the Chanel boutique at Cambon, at 31 Rue Cambon. I'm writing this because my experience with SA number one, can't say the person's name, was unacceptable. I saw people in the boutique who looked like they're having an amazing experience. They were served champagne during their shopping experience, while I was not even offered anything to drink until the end when I said I'd make a purchase. The service was subpar, taking into consideration this is an iconic Chanel location. I understand that it was the end of the day, but SA number one had an awful attitude. The contrast in experience to other customers in the store who did not purchase anything was stark. After I paid and was told we could not be offered champagne, we saw a couple across the room who were enjoying a glass without having made a purchase. I was really looking forward to my experience since I traveled all the way from New York City. I hope you're able to do something to remedy the situation. I think there are a few things about this. I think, first of all, and this is just something to note, I think that, like me anyway, I don't know about you guys, I pay attention to what happens in luxury shops, maybe more so now because I have a YouTube channel and I want to like report to you guys things I've seen. But I think people should really just focus on their experience. It is impossible for you to know whether they have bought or not. It is impossible for you to know they're sipping champagne. Maybe they've pre-ordered items that they have come to discuss and maybe you're going to pick up. Maybe they've actually purchased stuff and it's already being shipped to their hotel and the chauffeurs are taking it to their hotel. It is impossible for you to know that they're drinking champagne and didn't buy anything. Knowing Big C, honey, and the way Big C operates, Big C is not giving champagne to anyone who didn't buy anything. Okay, so they definitely bought something. So I think that this person needs to like kind of lighten up a little bit and also focus on you. You are the one who made the cardinal sin here because you were not clear that you were buying something. Only at the end, and by her own admission, only at the end when she said that she was going to make a purchase is when she was offered something. That's why I was telling you guys, like, to the Glamazons who are going to Paris for the first time, and if you're not French and you don't live in Paris, make it very clear at the beginning that you are buying something because they judge their customer service based on whether you as a client are going to buy something today. So I think if particularly, I remember particularly the Cartier experience, I was very clear with the SA, I'm buying something today, honey, like Love Collection, Justin Clue, like I'm buying something today. If you're wishy-washy and you're not clear that you're buying something today, they're kind of like, well, why would I allocate, our best champagne, whether it's like Bollinger or Krug, like why would I open a bottle of Bollinger for you or Krug or whatever for you or Louis Vuitton, like why would I open that for you? Right? When you haven't committed to buying something. I think if you're someone who cares about the champagne thing, I know many of you don't care about champagne. I'm, nursing right now, so I can't drink any champagne, but I think I won't be nursing by the time we go on the trip this year. But if I'm no longer nursing, and yeah, I would love to be offered champagne in a luxury shop. Of course, it feels very luxurious, it feels very glamorous. But in order to execute that, you need to say in the beginning, when you get to Big C, I would like to buy something. I would like to buy a handbag today. I would like to look at some clothes and pick out some clothes as well. I'm also looking to pick up some, new clothes for my wardrobe. Make it sound better than that, but be very clear that you're buying something today, because I think if you're not clear, they're just like, I'm not offering you anything, The next one is the Chanel Avenue Montaigne. This is the one that's 51. Just for those of you who've never been to Paris before, on the Avenue Montaigne, there are two Chanel boutiques. There's 51, I think the other one's 42, forgot. This is 51 Avenue Montaigne for Chanel. I feel like my Paris Chanel experience was stolen. We asked where the flagship store was, and we were told this was it. Come to find out, this isn't it. I also felt like they didn't value us until I was about to purchase multiple items, and that's when they treated us with more kindness. We were barely showing much stock. I came home with regret of what I purchased, and it wasn't from the flagship. I won't shop at this store again. Well, girl, bye. First of all, you need to sit your butt down. It's 2 seconds to open up big Google and ask, what is the flagship store? I find it hard to believe you love Chanel and you don't know that the flagship boutique for Big C is 31 Rue Cambon. I find that hard to believe. How do you end up at Avenue Montaigne and you don't know that, girl? Like, that's number one. Number two, people are going to learn People are going to learn the hard way. You have got to let French essays know at the beginning. Luxury essays in Paris specifically, they don't have a lot of time to waste. You need to let them know in the beginning, I am buying something today and I would like to buy a bunch of things today. And make it very clear. Don't forget, someone is not speaking their native language, they're speaking English, which may even be their third language. A lot of French people speak English, they also speak Spanish. Some French people might speak better Spanish than they do English. You need to be very clear, okay, that you are buying something today. And only when it was clear that she was about to buy multiple items, that's when they were nice to her. The Montaigne Chanel, this 51 Avenue Montaigne boutique, is very busy. There are a lot of people milling around. I personally wouldn't walk in here. The Dior Avenue Montaigne is more of a walk-in kind of environment. I'm trying to set the scene for those of you who've never been to the Avenue Montaigne yet. Whereas this one, I feel like you need to make an appointment. Every time I've passed by there, there's always a massive queue and people have been waiting for hours and hours and hours to be seen. The next one is Chanel. I mean, Big C's getting dragged today, honey. The next one is Chanel at 19 Rue Cambon. We visited this shop to buy 2 bags and an earring and a pair of earrings. We were asked to wait, and apparently there were 7 people in front of us. We were offered mineral water while waiting our turn, which was good. The problem happened after half an hour. We asked the concierge to find out our status as we saw many people leaving after buying goods. We were told there's 7 people in front of us. We asked the reason for this, and apparently our priority was lower because we didn't sound confident in purchasing the goods. This is ridiculous and frustrating. Walked out, ended up purchasing 3 good Dior bags and accessories around the world. The Dior essay told us many people leave Chanel to come to shop at Dior for this reason. I've never been treated this way in Chanel in my life. This is shocking. Yeah. This is Chanel Rue Cambon number 19. Look, it's absolutely insane for someone to say you guys didn't sound confident in buying things, but basically they just took a chance and said, these people are not going to buy anything. Again, I hate to sound like a broken record at this point. But who's going to give me credit for being right? In Paris, you have got to let them know you are buying stuff today. You need to clean it up so it sounds a little bit better than that. It doesn't sound too transactional, but I think you're going to have to make it super clear that you're buying a bunch of stuff. They didn't feel like the people were going to buy a bunch of stuff, which is wrong. It's wrong for them to make an assumption that those clients were not going to buy a bunch of items. That is completely wrong. They're wrong for that. Big C, you're wrong for that. Oh my God. Being told we didn't seem confident to buy things. That's horrible. The next one is the Louis Vuitton of the Avenue Montaigne. The Avenue Montaigne is getting dragged today. We were assisted by a staff member who appeared quite unprofessional. She was texting on her phone at all times in front of us, didn't show us products we wanted, and was unable to answer prices. Instead, she told us to go to the LV website. Her demeanor was unhelpful and lacked basic courtesy. I mean, girl, like there are some of these essays in France and in Paris who are very they don't want to be there. They don't make a ton of money. I think Louis Vuitton CAs in Paris are better paid than big H CAs, from what I've been told. But yeah, this isn't right. To tell someone go on the website, but we're in a whole Louis Vuitton boutique, and the prices normally are written alongside the items, and she can look it up on the system. Girl, if you don't tell me how much that thing is right now, do you know what I mean? That's wrong. Same location. I have 0 stars. I had high expectations for Louis Vuitton in Paris, but ultimately my visit was incredibly disappointing. The store was packed. Despite the hype, I found the service to be lacking. What was more frustrating is you're not allowed to look at anything else until someone's available. The waiting time was far too long. I felt like I was stuck waiting rather than enjoying the shopping experience. This policy made it difficult to browse, prevented me from checking other things out. In my opinion, it would be better to spend a little more at a different store where you receive different treatment and can actually explore the products without unnecessary restrictions. I have to say, I was quite surprised to hear that the Avenue Montaigne did this, because it was my understanding that, and definitely it's been my experience at Louis Vuitton Champs-Élysées and at the Louis Vuitton Place Vendôme, that before they assign an essay to you, they do tell you that you can go and have a look around, you can mill around. I was told that at the Champs-Élysées Louis Vuitton. And I was also told that at Place Vendôme, this was from last year, I just walked in, I looked around, and they were like, I think last year, what I mean is 2023 year end at that time, but I looked around and it was fine. And they're like, okay, you can just, and we'll tell the SA to, the CA to come and help you. And you're just like milling around, looking around, and a lot of people were touching bags and picking things up, and it wasn't a problem and it wasn't an issue. So I'm wondering if there was a miscommunication here. Either way, definitely I agree with the client. That's very unpleasant because I'd be really bored as well. Same location, the Avenue Montaigne, Louis Vuitton. We were assigned an SA who was not helpful and had a lot of attitude. We were there to exchange something, and she told us immediately the bag we wanted wasn't available, even though we called the day prior and someone confirmed they had the item. She indeed had the item, I beg your pardon. She brought it out to us. I asked if they had champagne. What is with the champagne today, honey? I asked if they had champagne. She told us they sold out because they're very busy the day before. Due to the statements not being accurate, asked someone else. She said, yes, they had no champagne. No one offered. She went and checked with someone else. Pick somebody else. No one offered water or coffee or anything like that, which to be honest was disgusting customer service. I returned my bag and I got one that was more expensive. As I was leaving, I heard another SA ask a different client if they want something to drink, which should have been asked to us as well in the beginning. We went to Dior next door and they were amazing, asked us if we want anything else and were very helpful. I mean, girl, I don't know. There are a few things that are a problem here. You came there to exchange something. You went to the Avenue Montaigne Louis Vuitton to exchange something. You were in no intentions of buying. You're not going to be offered champagne if you haven't bought a thing, which I think is completely fine. Why? Why would you be offered champagne? Why? You haven't bought anything. Like, if you're gonna sit there and you're gonna like spend and buy stuff, sure, you're gonna be offered champagne. But why would you be offered it if you asking, do you have champagne? Why are you asking if they have champagne? Are you trying to start an off license? You want to like open an alcohol shop? Like, why are you asking them? You came to exchange something. She says here, I returned my handbag and I got one that was more expensive. You obviously paid the difference of whatever the expensive handbag was. To me, this is one of these textbook examples of clients who are super, super difficult to deal with. When I had my beauty shop, we dealt with people like this all of the time who were incredibly difficult and had no intentions of buying stuff but wanted to be given the red carpet treatment. Let's be very clear, and this is a very unpopular opinion. The red carpet treatment, the velvet rope treatment is for people who spend money. Okay? You're coming there to exchange something and to be super annoying. No champagne for you, sweetheart. No. Okay? And the SA was like, not even water for you, girl. The next one is the Louis Vuitton Avenue Montaigne. Avenue Montaigne Louis Vuitton's getting dragged today, honey. She's getting dragged. Atrocious service. We were politely greeted at the door, and that was the extent of the service received. I showed the LV. I beg your pardon. This isn't Avenue Montaigne. This is Vendôme. I showed the LV CA my receipt from another store from a few days prior, where I dropped $20,000 to show I wasn't there to waste time, and kindly asked for my LV passport holder to be stamped. I think that's so creepy and weird for you to like show the CA, hi, I spent $20,000 at another store. So the person seeing a commission she didn't get, or he didn't get. The minute the SA wrongfully assumed I was only there for my passport holder and not to purchase anything. He did everything he could to usher my partner and I out of the door. He wanted nothing more than to get rid of us. I'm a long-term client of LV. I might not be a VIP, but I regularly buy, and I've happily spent more money today. I would have happily spent more money had the SA treated me with respect. To say I will never purchase from this store is an understatement for a top brand and in a staple place like the Place Vendôme. That's why I had to correct myself. This was Place Vendôme. To offer such horrible service is beyond disappointing, frankly appalling. Avoid LV Place Vendôme if you want authentic LV experience. I mean, girl, bye. Bye. Okay, you lost me you arrive at the store and you pull out your receipt from another boutique of Louis Vuitton, like, hey, I spent $20,000 at another store. Now, don't get me wrong, leopards. 20,000 is a lot of money. 20 bands is a lot of money. But 20 bands in Paris, the hometown of Louis Vuitton, Dior, Big H, Big C, the hometown of Van Cleef & Arpels, technically the hometown of Cartier because Louis Cartier founded it there. A lot of the top tier eminent luxury girls, Paris is their hometown. 20 bands is a lot of money. It's a lot of money in one receipt, but a boutique like Vendome is seeing people who are spending like 100, 150. They sell their high jewelry. I believe Vendome is the only boutique in Paris where you can buy the high jewelry at, because the high jewelry is there. They sell the high jewelry pieces there. There'll be people who are rolling into Vendome's dropping 100K, 150 bands, 200 bands, 300, half a million, and so on and so forth. Those people exist. There'll be people who are spending 50, 60, 70K in one transaction. Those people exist. There'll be people who are spending 40,000 in one transaction, which is twice of what this lady spent. I think it's very, in my opinion, I think that's really bad etiquette to me, to open your purse and to show a receipt from another Louis Vuitton boutique of spending you've done. I think that is just horrible, horrible manners, horrible etiquette, and you are going to piss people off. We talk about misunderstandings and understanding culture. That is not going to go down well in Europe. Like, let's be clear, like, no, that is not the thing. And then I think that this client is upset that the SA pulled her card, because you went in there to get your LV passport holder stamped. The SA is right to assume that you're not buying anything else because you haven't made it clear that you're buying anything else. And I agree. If I'm the SA, I just want to get rid of you so I can go and deal with someone who wants to spend money. What do I care that you spent 20 bands at another store? I mean, that doesn't have anything to do with me. How do I know that you're going to spend 20K with me, or going to spend 10K with me? Like I said, 20K is great money, and it's very good money to spend at a boutique in a transaction. But that specific Louis Vuitton Vendome boutique, where they sell the high jewelry, where they sell their fine jewelry pieces and stuff, there are people in there who spend 50 stacks, 100 stacks, 150K, 200, easy. And they're probably people that maybe previously to this client have already spent that money. So you showing I've spent 20,000. Oh, I don't know, girl. I don't know. To me, you deserved the skull drag. I don't know what you guys think. What do you guys think about this? I'm very uncomfortable with this. I think it's very gauche. It's very, very gauche. It's very tacky. You know what I mean? I think we've talked about this before. Like, one of the top tier rules is never to talk about how much you spent, like, to the SA. Never mention it, because I think it really pisses off the SA. And I'm sure that they're probably talking about this client like, she came in and showed her receipt. Ha 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 ha. Little does she know that, there are people who walk in here and buy limousines, which are like 70K. I don't know. I just don't think you should have mentioned it to me, because I think it makes them compare you to other people. I think mentioning how much you spend like that pisses off the SA and makes them compare you to other people. And I think, he wanted nothing more than to get rid of us. But you didn't say you were going to buy anything. So what's he supposed to do? Like, beg you to buy something? I don't know. The next one is the Big H Boutique at Faubourg Saint-Honoré. Unfortunately, I had a disappointing experience with one of the staff members handling the wait list for bags. Her attitude was rude, unhelpful, and far from what you'd expect from a luxury brand like Big H. This kind of behavior doesn't reflect the elegance and professionalism the brand's known for. When visiting the Ponytail, you expect to be treated with respect. I'm just adding my nicknames for the brand instead of saying Hermes every single time. You expect to be treated with respect and class, but sadly that wasn't the case. Join the club, girl. It's a carnival, and that's an absolute nightmare. With the whole Jane Birkin bag being flogged, I don't know who else doesn't care about this. Am I the only person who doesn't care? I don't care. I remember seeing someone on Threads had posted that Big H should have bought it and put it in one of their boutiques. I'm like, Big H buying that bag and putting it at Faubourg would make Faubourg impossible to get into. It'd be like the Louvre. Like, Big H also doesn't care. The next one is the same thing of Faubourg Saint-Honoré Hermes. Writing this review because it's impossible to get a leather appointment at Big H. I've been applying for one every single day online for about 3 months. It should be simpler to get an appointment. Girl, it is not easy to get an appointment. I've been trying for years. It's very, very hard. And you know what's really interesting? I think I was telling one of the Glanzons as we were having a discussion about the situation of shopping in Paris. And I think one of the biggest issues of shopping in Paris is that there's so much survivorship bias and there's a lot of confirmation bias, like with shopping at this brand. So only the people who have the unicorn experiences are coming on social media to be like, guys, I was a Pegasus unicorn, I didn't buy anything, I got a lottery appointment and all of this stuff. But the Google reviews are much more honest about the situation on the ground. There are a lot of reviews like this for this location where people were complaining about the fact that they can't get appointments. Same location. The leather appointment lady is very rude and arrogant for no reason. I kindly asked for the possibility of getting an appointment or the process to book one. She handed me a card, told me to scan the QR code and not to do it in the store but later. Basically told me I'm not welcome to stand near the desk even though I was browsing. Meanwhile, I overhear another leather appointment essay tell another client that they can try in the afternoon for cancellations. I proceeded to purchase shoes from another essay. She said it's possible to get an appointment just to come back later. Tip, don't ask for a leather appointment from this person. Wait until there's someone who's more helpful. I'm a VIP client at my home store and I was wearing Big H. I can't imagine how they treat new potential customers. Everyone else in the store was kind and helpful, just avoid her. Girl, you being a VIP at your home store, unless they know about you, they don't care. Because the amount of people who, by the way, I'm not excusing the behavior because it is horrible the way they speak to people. Oh, trust me, I've experienced it where they're like, no, we don't have anything. I'm like, should I come back later? No, because I just told you, like, right now we don't have any appointments. But you being a VIP has no bearing on your standing at the ponytail in Paris unless you have let them know that you're heading over there. If you tell them that you're heading over there, okay, then it has some bearing. But if you're like a VIP at your store, but you're just going there and they don't know it's you, they don't care. You know, there are just so many people trying to get bags at this brand. So Big H is they just don't care. Like, they don't have to accommodate people. And I know that's like the sort of ice cold reality. This whole thing about scanning the QR code, they tell every single person that, you know, so the person isn't being singled out because it's her. It's just the reality of the game. Same location for Books and Array Big H. My experience with this Big H was less than my experience with this Big H was unfortunately an encounter that calls into question the essence of luxury. Entering a store bearing the name Big H, one anticipates not merely a transaction but an encounter with elegance, attentiveness, and the ineffable allure that defines luxury retail. Go, please, calm down. It's a shop. Okay? The store was teeming with people. It was overwhelmingly packed, particularly in the shoe section, transforming what should have been a serene and intimate space into a crowded, almost frenzied atmosphere. The sheer volume of clients seemed to strain the staff's ability. At no point were we proactively assisted. Instead, we were left to navigate this bustling space on our own. When assistance was finally provided, it felt rushed, devoid of thoughtfulness, and elevates an experience beyond mere purchase. The associate handling our inquiry in the shoe section seemed to view us as one more task in a hurried sequence. This haste culminated in a substantial error in our purchase, an oversight that revealed a startling lack of precision and care. This experience raised an uncomfortable question. What is the point of luxury if not to provide an oasis of consideration? Even Big H, a name synonymous with refinement, begins to falter in these fundamental qualities. It forces one to reconsider the value placed on brand reputation over experience. This person, final sentence, this visit was not merely disappointing, it was disillusioning. This person is what I call a Big H true believer. We are not true believers on this channel, okay? Meaning, we like Big H. We think she's a bad chick. She makes phenomenal, beautiful colors and beautiful exotics. She's the Beyonce of exotics. But we don't put Big H on a pedestal in this channel. This sounds like someone who has put Big H on a pedestal, and respectfully, it's giving parasocial relationship with a brand that doesn't care about me. It's just a shop. It's just a brand. The idea that you're going to go to Faubourg and be the only person in the shoe section, particularly the women's shoe section, is completely and totally delusional. Okay? You're not the only person in the world. Big H has many clients around the world, and many of those people want to buy shoes. So stop being delusional, get over yourself, and understand you are not in a parasocial relationship with this brand. It is a shop like all else. I can't speak today. It is a shop like all else, and you need to treat it like that. So saying that you're disillusioned and saying that Big H is like the key thing of elegance on all of this, girl, bye. The next one is the Big H Boutique at Sèvres. So this is in Paris on the left bank of the city. I'm visiting as a tourist, so I chose to dress comfortably. Jeans, Adidas trainers, and a plain black t-shirt, nothing fancy. The essay sized me up from head to toe, made me wait as if they're doing me a favor by serving me, and then their attitude was condescending throughout the entire process. Despite their behavior, I managed to order 3 items I decided to purchase. However, they continued to treat me as though they're attending me was a burden. When it came to pay, they handed me my purchase in a white bag, while the lady next to me, dressed in an impeccable trench coat, was given an orange bag. Let me be clear, I have no interest in flaunting your orange bag around Paris. Oh, really? Why are you so triggered then, girl? If I shop at Hermes, it's for craftsmanship, not the packaging. However, it's my decision as a customer to choose whether I want a white bag orange one, not yours. I don't need your orange bag to flex, but what I will not tolerate is blatant disrespect towards your clients. You know what I flex about? Being an entrepreneur, self-made fashion designer. Oh, here we goes. You know, and where I come from, everyone's equal and deserves to be treated with respect, regardless of what they're wearing. Girl, just go and spin around in your chair with a violin and cry about it. No one cares about how you feel. Okay? We don't care over here, girl. We do not care. I do not have sympathy for this person. This person decided to tell us her outfit because she knew that she looked too casual for the boutique. And before the Pegasus unicorns fly here and tell me they looked a raggedy mess going into Sèvres, we all know that a casual look in Paris, like a casual, effortless look in Paris, is still very put together. Parisian glamazons still look very chic and put together and effortless, even when they're on a sort of casual day off. The fact that the person says that they don't care about the orange bag, you do care about the orange bag, because they basically looked at the way you were dressed, assumed that you didn't want the orange bag, which you said here that you didn't care for the orange Big H packaging, so they gave you the white bag. Presumably, I think basically what she's saying here, and perhaps she wasn't clear, is that they gave her a white bag in addition to the orange bag. I find it hard to believe that they would just give you a white bag without the orange Big H bag itself, and then they gave the other client an orange bag without the white bag as well. Maybe because they felt like she was happy to walk around without the white bag to hide the logo, which I always think is kind of pointless, because I think if someone's going to steal your stuff, they know that you have a luxury branded bag in there, so they'll take it anyway. That's just my opinion. I don't really understand why this person's having a moan and a groan about it, because you said that you don't care, and this whole, you know what I flex about being an entrepreneur, self-made fashion designer. Okay, but no one cares. We don't care. Big H doesn't care, and you don't have to flex about it, because now you're making the point that you said that you were against. She said that she didn't care about flexing the orange bag, but now you're flexing to us your credentials and your entire CV in a review for Sèvres. Trust me, the Sèvres locations are tough to do. Also, I empathize with being dragged in there. I've been dragged multiple times in there, but I don't think that this was a big deal. I think that this is an overreaction, and at best, it's a misunderstanding. They just made an assumption that she wouldn't want to walk around with an orange bag. The fact that she wanted to be given the choice, to me, is complete nonsense. Say the truth. You wanted them to treat you like the other woman who was impeccably dressed, as you said, in an impeccable trench coat. So if you want to be treated a certain way, show up the way you know that treatment will be coming and will be forthcoming as well. So, no, don't feel sorry for you, gal. No. And you're then like, oh, I don't care about your orange bag, but I'm going to flex about my CV in the review. Go. Bye. Next one is Big H Sèvres. I've visited this location multiple times over several days during my trip, always with genuine interest and appreciation for the brand's craftsmanship. Unfortunately, my recent experience at this location, particularly at the leather goods section, was shockingly disappointing and unacceptable. Despite my multiple return visits and prior purchases, I was treated with clear condescension and disregard by the incredibly rude, unwelcoming host managing the bag area. I've been there, trust me, I know how this person feels. His tone, I wonder if it's the same guy. His tone was dismissive, curt, and they made no effort to acknowledge or assist me. In fact, laughed at me when I asked for a leather appointment after trying the lottery. I've been there. There's a gentleman who manages the leather desk. This review was written the same time that I was in Paris last year. There's a gentleman who I think was managing it at the time that this lady wrote her review, in my experience. Very, very rude. Very rude, man. And was saying no to every single person. It was just so rude. Every day of my oh sorry, and in fact laughed at me when I asked for a leather appointment. Yeah, you know, it's unfortunate, guys. It's unpleasant, but it's the way the cookie crumbles, honey. It's the way the game is played. As the saying goes, don't hate the player, hate the game. I'm willing to bet that this person is the same person that I met as well. When I was like, oh, are there any cancellations? No. Should I come back later? No, 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 no. We have nothing. No. So, you have to laugh about it, because if you don't laugh about it, you'll cry. Um, Luxury is not about, same location, Severus. Luxury is not about the item, it's about the service and respect. Paris may be the home of Big H, but this experience left a bitter impression on me. My husband was with me after witnessing the way I was treated, the way I was spoken to. He asked that I return the Big H items I bought from him on this trip, as he no longer wants to support a brand that believes it's successful to treat customers like this. I recommend the manager of the store look into the service of this store and reconsider their position in the boutique. Oh, girl, let me tell you, the boutique on the left bank of the city, this store, they don't care. They don't care. It's unfortunate, but it's the way the cookie crumbles. The final boutique is from George Cinq, Hermes in Paris. Most of the staff are extremely impolite and unkind. I'm fed up with these nasty attitudes from their essays over trying to ask questions about a Birkin. It's just disgusting at this point. Well said. Well said. And when I'm laughing, I am not laughing at them, because I have been dragged multiple times in George Cinq, mentioned in today's video, at the Sevres boutique, mentioned in today's videos, and I've also been dragged at Faubourg. Faubourg is still the place where I've had the least bad experiences, but I've been dragged in all three, so I have a lot of empathy for how these people feel. I think the thing that I find really hard about the sort of Big H like shopping situation in Paris is like how arbitrary it is. It's so arbitrary, and it's so like random, right? A lot of these reviews were written the month that I went, because I was like, wouldn't it be cool to see like if my treatment, the horrible treatment I got in all three stores, was like if other people experienced it too. And many people did, as per these reviews. And also I spoke to some Glamazons who were like, oh my god, I was there in September, it was a horrible experience as well. You know what I mean? I think the arbitrariness of shopping at Big H, specifically in Paris, makes it really, really hard. And like I always tell you guys, there's so much confirmation bias. Only the people who have the unicorn experiences will be the ones who come. And if you think about it, if you have a unicorn experience, you're going to be rushing to social media because it's going to get a ton of views, clicks. Versus people who like don't have the unicorn experiences. I haven't had the unicorn experiences, but that doesn't bother me. I'm a very patient person. When it's meant to happen, it'll happen. And also I have a ton of other interests. I'm not like the person who was putting Big H on this massive pedestal as like the definition of elegance. I don't do that, and you guys know that. So maybe that's why for me it's less offensive. In terms of the Louis Vuitton Avenue Montaigne store, honey, she's getting dragged in this episode as well. And Dior, honey, was getting dragged. Chanel, honey, was getting dragged. And I think the situation at Chanel Avenue Montaigne is a similar kind of thing, making people wait and wait and wait and wait for hours. And all of these people, I feel like it's just time to make appointments. And I'm not an appointment person. I don't know about you guys, but I'm not an appointment person. Which one was your favorite dragging review out of the 4 Parisian brands that we featured today? And what do you think about all of them? Tell me what you think about everything. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Subscribe to the newsletter. It's Saturday. I'll probably send the newsletter at some point this weekend. I've been pretty busy this week, but I will be sending it at some point this weekend. If not, then I'll send it on Monday. And also make sure you subscribe, because people are watching these dragging videos but don't subscribe, which I don't understand why. So subscribe to the channel and tell me what you think about everything. Find me on Instagram as well. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. God bless you all, and I'll see you very soon in my next video.